We will call to order the meeting of the Merrillville Town Council for today, Tuesday, October 25th at 6:30 p.m. Please stand for invocation, followed by a moment of silence.
Let's pray. God, our Father, we thank you for the privilege of being able to be here tonight. And God, I know that you have entrusted to these people in the front of this room with the leadership of this community. And so, Father, again, my prayers for wisdom and understanding, grace, compassion, but also, Father, that you give them a vision. Let that vision never grow old, of how this community can continue to grow and thrive. We thank you, Father, for those who serve and protect. So now, Father, our prayers for our families, let them grow strong and be protected by your grace. Thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Mr. Hardaway, would you lead us in a pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk Treasurer, roll call, please.
Councilman Spann. Councilman Hardaway.
Here.
Councilman Minchuk.
Here.
Councilwoman Uzelak.
Here.
Councilman Petta.
Here.
Sorry. Councilman White. Councilman Bella.
Here.
5 present, 2 absent.
5 present, we have a quorum. Thank you. Moving on tonight to petitions, communications, acknowledgements, and remonstrations. Before us, we have a letter from Steve King recommending the approval of core payment number 4 for the Town Hall Conference Room improvements. This was just approved, I believe, at the RDC meeting moments ago.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Pettit, second by Mrs. Uzelak for approval of the letter from Steve. The amount is $29,987.46. Any questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Moving on tonight to the consent agenda, you have before you the accounts payable voucher for approval for October 25th, as well as our town council meeting minutes from October 11th.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Mrs. Uzelak, second by Mr. Pettit for approval. Any questions or comments on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Standing and special committee reports tonight, Budget and Finance, Mr. Hardaway.
No report, Mr. President.
Council Affairs, Mr. Pettit.
No report.
Public Works and Utilities, Mr. Minchuk.
Yes, I need to schedule a meeting coming up soon so we can tie up some things there we've been talking about already. I'll reach out to the rest of the council, get some dates by email, and we'll set a date here pretty soon.
Okay. Elections, Public Relations, Town Beautification, Mr. Pettit.
The only thing I have, Mr. President, is 2 weeks from today is Election Day for the midterm elections. So everyone, hopefully get out and vote.
Environmental Affairs, any report for Mr. White, Mr. Hardaway? Mr. Reardon?
No, sir. No report.
Thank you. Personnel Policy and Employee Benefits, Mr. Hardaway.
No report, Mr. President.
Public Safety, Mr. Minchuk.
Yes, we have a meeting scheduled for November 2nd at 4 p.m. The entire council is invited to that meeting. We will be having, hopefully, some final negotiations with the FOP and bring that to a close. I emailed everybody March, just so you know, November 2nd at 4 for public safety.
So you
Oh,
buy a
sure.
food?
Thank you.
Yeah,
buying
if
what?
you would like food, I'll bring some for you.
That's okay, Joe.
All right.
That's okay.
All you gotta do is ask, I'll do it.
That's okay. You just probably bring something, McDonald's or something.
I was thinking about White Castles.
Economic Development, Mr. Pettit.
No report.
Parks and Recreation, Mrs. Uzelak.
Well, as I said before, the parks are well mowed, everything is in order, and it looks good. That's all I
They're well wet, too, today.
Yes, they are. The grass is growing again, so maybe they will be out there before it snows. Okay, thank you.
Abandoned and Blighted Properties, Mr. Hardaway.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. We met with code enforcement, I think, last week, and we discussed some ordinance changes. And Mrs. Shine is going to get that information to Councilman Pettit so that him and this committee could look at what we need to switch. There are some things, some deficit things that we really need to look at, that we need to put some more teeth in our ordinances because people are just doing whatever they want to do when they come to the town here lately. And so we got to try to get a handle on that and stop it. So that's my report.
Okay. Dean and Barbara White Community Center, Mr. Pettit.
Torrance, do you have anything?
On last week and this weekend, Pop Warner playoffs went forward. Nice turnout for that. We hosted this past Sunday Midwest JUCO/Prep Jamboree. We had 6 participating teams from the JUCO and Prep levels, and 10 college coaches come out to watch them. And we were also a part of the Safe Schools Week with gun turn-in and program, October 28th and 29th. We hosted the rally at the Dean and Barbara White Center this past Saturday afternoon.
Thanks, Torrance.
Special projects, Mr. Hardaway.
I got a lot tonight.
Okay.
Last week, we, the staff and some elected officials, we attended the Urban League's Equity and Inclusion Conference luncheon, which was a great time, great turnout. It's always a great time. They probably had over 400 people there. Yeah. And so it was well attended, and it was good to see the town's staff that comes out to this stuff. We really appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot. Secondly, Thursday, the staff and some elected officials will be attending the Ethics Summit at the Avalon again at 8 a.m. It's going to be from 8 to 11, and breakfast will be provided. That also is a great time. Mm-hmm. So I look forward to that as well. Thirdly, the Christmas tree lighting will take place at 6 p.m. on November the 25th at the Dean and White Community Center. We got Santa showing up, donuts and hot chocolate, and some donut holes. Where are we at here? On November the 12th, the Black McDonald's Owners Association will host a turkey giveaway at the McDonald's at 61st and Broadway. This is a first for us. So they're coming. It's going to start at 8 a.m. It's going to be first come, first serve. And we are one of 4 McDonald's. It's the other 3 are in Chicago. But for some reason, the lady reached out to me, and we were one of the one that was selected. So I'm looking forward to that on November the 12th. And then finally, in December, the town will sponsor a Christmas house decorating contest. There will be one house selected in each ward, and we need volunteers to be judges, and we're going to ask the department heads and anyone on the council that would like to be a judge to please sign up for that. The only caveat is that you can't judge in your ward. You have to judge in somebody else's ward. So the details are being worked out right now, and I'm going to have to get a committee together here pretty quick so that we can get this thing moving, because once we roll out of the Christmas tree lighting, then we go right into the decorations, and Pat will need some type of application made up so that when the people come in, they can fill out an application for their house.
Will there be some type of awards too?
Yeah, we're going to give some type of award and a gift card.
Great.
What date?
We'll have to decide how much the gift card is going to be, but I think it's something different. We've never done it before, to my knowledge, so I think this gets everybody involved and gets everybody in the Christmas spirit.
What date is that, Richard?
It's going to start in December, whenever they start decorating their houses,
Oh,
March,
okay.
and then we'll probably announce the winner at our second meeting in December.
Okay,
Okay?
See if, let's give Carlos, I'll probably need a-
First meeting.
Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
electric bills.
That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you. Hi, Don. Let the record show that Councilman Span has joined us.
And my car wouldn't start. I had to borrow a
Sorry to
car
hear
to
that.
get here. I made it, though.
Glad you made it.
Well, that's important.
Moving on tonight to department and commission reports. Northern Indiana Regional Planning Commission, Mr. Hardaway.
Thank you, Mr. President. I've been working for a while now, trying to get the bus stop that's on Andrea's property moved to the Strachan Van Til property. And so that's going to happen. I had a conversation with David Wright from GPTC at NERC's meeting last Thursday, and they've already let the contract. So here, within the next, before the end of the year, we will have a brand-new shelter there for people to sit in. Because right now, if you go by there, they're sitting on carriages and everything. So we're going to get this thing on, Strachan Van Til has consented to let us place it on their property. So hopefully, that'll eliminate some of the carts being moved off of the property. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Stormwater Management Resources, Director Matt Lake.
Yeah, real quick, we're finalizing construction on the Marcella Road drainage project. Dyer's doing an excellent job. They should be done within a few weeks here. We're going to do a change order and add about another 200 feet along 53rd Avenue while they're mobilized. Found a lot of clay pipe there, so we figured we'd get that done as a part of this project as well. Want to thank everybody involved, especially those that implement the Community Development Block Grant over in Lake County. We're going to be also, we have advertised the Kaiser Ditch lateral project. I met with contractors today, I met with 6 of them, in fact, so it's, the word's getting out, so I think we're going to have a competitive process there. Winfield finalized their drainage design for 101st and Clay Street, so they took our advice with the head wall so they can move forward with that project, and I think it will be a success. We're finalizing all of our construction for the Red Roof Inn dry detention basin conversion project, and that's primarily for public safety. I also want to thank the Parks Department and Public Works. We had a collaborative tree planting event. We got a NERC community tree grant, and so as part of that, we received 30 trees of various high-quality species, and we planted them at Rosenbaum Park. And we all got together Friday and got our hands dirty, and it was a good time. So that's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you. South Shore Visitors and Convention Authority, Mr. Reardon.
Thank you, Mr. Bella. We met on October 20th. That is the Board of Directors. And I would encourage anybody who's up in the area, or if you want to go to the area, go to the Convention Center at 8094 in Kennedy. A lot of parking lot improvements have been made. New protective bollards were installed. Unfortunately, a truck lost control and hit the sign, the actual convention center sign. That's being replaced, but it looks like night and day. It looks like almost a brand-new facility with a parking lot, the striping, the lighting, and just a couple of announcements. We're considered partners. All members of the organization are partners. There will be a partnership network event coming up in November. Our legislative reception, November 10th. I'm sure that everybody on this board will get an invitation to that. That's, again, November 10th from 4 to 6 p.m. That's going to be at the Hard Rock Cafe. And back to this partnership summit that is from, excuse me, let me make sure I'm reading the correct notes. The partnership summit will be November 16th at the Hard Rock Cafe, time to be announced. Under President CEO Uran, renewed efforts for outreach, partnership, And it was reported that the partnership's level of area participation has increased upward to 22% from 2021. So there's a lot of activity going on, positive buzz about the organization.
Great. Thank you, Pat. Fire Territory Board, Mr. Minchuk or Mr. Span, anything to add?
They have no meetings scheduled anytime soon.
Department reports. Torrance, anything else to add besides what you already presented?
We do have, if there's any confusion with this, there is a company that has rented to center that is doing a turkey giveaway. We are not doing the giveaway. We've been getting a few calls about that. It's a law firm that is handling that on November the 18th. And we will have the, once again, the Boys and Girls Club's Christmas is coming up in December. So we will start plans for that, the walkthrough for that.
Thank you.
When is Glenn Leonard going to pass out turkey?
November the 18th.
That's another turkey giveaway in the area.
Chief Cretino.
Yes, thank you.
Department.
Good evening, everyone. To be brief, as you know, next Monday is Halloween, and I'm asking if the parents can assist with the kids out, going door to door. It's going to be from 5:30 to 7:30. We also have some officers, and EMA will assist out there as well. As you can see, it gets dark early, so everybody can proceed with caution because the kids are going to be out on the roadway and in the neighborhoods. And with that being said, that's all I have, Mr. President.
Chief, I think we're also going to have our EMA vehicles out, right, that evening?
Correct.
3 of them?
Correct.
Good. Thank you. Vicky, Code Enforcement, anything to add tonight?
No report.
Okay. Sheila Shine?
No report.
Angie?
I do have a report. Just wanted to give an update on the community video project. We were out within the community on 3 different occasions. We have wrapped up filming, so that's a wrap. We've completed it, and we got a lot of great footage, despite having a few setbacks with weather. Out of those 3 days, 2 of them were rainy and gloomy, but we made the best of it. I'd like to thank everyone involved in making the project a success. It definitely was a team effort, from town staff coming together to community participation. We did go out into the community and visit a variety of restaurants, who all of them went above and beyond to showcase their different cuisines. We had a variety. We tried to touch base with casual, from breakfast to casual dining to a beer and a burger, up to very fine dining. Again, all of those restaurants went out of their way to accommodate us, and so we had a lot of fun with that. We also had community involvement with 2 local businesses who came forward and provided testimonials, and in their words, we asked them, what makes Merrillville great? Why did you bring your business here? And so we'll showcase that footage on the video as well. So overall, it was a great project to work on, and I look forward to sharing the final product with everyone.
I'd like to add, I was with the team this week and listening to Greg Teresa and Skip Bozak talk about the town of Merrillville and how long they've been here and why they've been here. This was completely unscripted, unprompted, and they just, all 3 of them spoke about the benefits of being in Merrillville, the tax rate, the location, et cetera. And it was a real shot in the arm to hear happy business people. And these are large businesses. They employ 450 in their 9 dealerships, I believe was the figure. And this is their flagship store here. And it was nice to hear them talk about it. So
It was very nice.
looking forward to that being available online. Anything else to add, Pat? On the department reports? No. Okay, good. Moving on tonight to general orders, we have first reading ordinances, ordinance 22-25. This is a transfer of, it's a new appropriation. Mr. Reardon.
Thank you. ordinance 2225 from the fire department, additional appropriations, fire protection territory funds for the year 2022, not included in the current budget to cover costs through the end of the year.
You see the figures there. It's 42,000 for fire department health, life, and also $100,000 for fire department training and supplies.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Pettit, second by Mr. Hardaway for approval of ordinance 22-25 on first reading. Any questions or comments from the council? Hearing none. Madam Clerk Treasurer, roll call, please.
Councilman Span?
Yes.
Councilman Hardaway?
Yeah.
Councilman Minchuk?
Yes.
Councilwoman Yuzlak?
Yes.
Councilman Pettit?
Yes.
President Bella?
Yes.
6 votes in favor.
Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on tonight to ordinance 22-26. Ordinance of the Town of Merrillville authorizing a transfer of monies within the funds of the Parks Department and additional appropriations. Mr. Reardon.
Again, from the Parks Department, transfer of monies within the funds of the Park Department, an additional appropriation to cover additional costs through the end of the year. Our Parks Department Director is here, Terrence Price, to elaborate at this point. I'll defer to Terrence.
Thank you. This is just to ensure that we pay all of our bills at the end of the year 2022.
It's probably a good idea, Torrance.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Pettit and a second by everybody. Chair will recognize Mr. Span. Did you second it, Mr. Span?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Nice shirt.
For approval, thank you. Any questions or comments on the motion? Hearing none. Madam Clerk Treasurer, roll call, please.
Mrs. Span?
Yes.
Mr. Hardaway?
Yep.
Mr. Minchuk?
Yes.
Mrs. Yuzlak?
Yes.
Mr. Pettit?
Yes.
Mr. Bella?
Yes.
6 in favor.
6 in favor, motion carries. Moving on tonight to second reading ordinances. We have an ordinance, which is the flood damage prevention ordinance from the town of Merrillville. We approved this at the last meeting. It
did.
replaces ordinance 15-28, and I'll defer to Matt Lake for a little preference on this ordinance. Matt?
Yeah, this is a little bit language changed with the National Flood Insurance Program, so this is to maintain compliance. So it's almost identical to the existing ordinance with the exception of a few items in there. I had Anita Nance from Indiana Department of Natural Resource Division Water review it as well, and so this is the final product of that.
Thank you, Matt.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Pettit, second by Mrs. Uzelak for approval of ordinance 22-24 and second and final reading. Any questions or comments from the council? Is there any public comment tonight on ordinance 22-24? Is there any public comment? Seeing none, Madam Clerk Treasurer, roll call.
Mrs. Span?
Yes.
Mr. Hardaway?
Yes.
Mr. Minchuk?
Yes.
Mrs. Yuzlak?
Yes.
Mr. Pettit?
Yes.
Mr. Bella?
Yes.
6 in favor.
Thank you. Motion carries. Moving on tonight to resolutions. Resolution 22-71 is a transfer of monies within the town budget, CCD, and general fund. The decrease is $306,000 from our CCD health insurance. The increase is the same, the net effect is zero.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Pettit, second by Mrs. Uzelak for approval of Resolution 22-71. Again, I believe this is to cover expenses through the end of the year. Is that right, Pat?
That is correct.
Okay. Any questions or comments?
Nice shirt.
Thank you, Don. Trick or treat. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to Resolution 22-72, the simple transfer of funds, the decrease of $2,000 from the general town administration fund, and its increase, unfortunately, into the general/gasoline fund. We've been seeing this quite often here at the end of the year. The amount is $2,000 both ways, and that effect is zero.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Pettit, second by Mr. Hardaway for approval of Resolution 22-72, transfer of funds. Questions or comments from the council? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? That motion carries. Moving on tonight to Resolution 22-73. This is a resolution of the Town of Merrillville, Lake County, Indiana, concerning the holiday schedule for the calendar year 2023. You had an updated version at your chairs. There was a couple typos in the old one in your packet. This basically just corrects the proper dates for next year. These are the same holidays that we approve each year for our town employees and office closures.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Uselak, second by Mr. Span, for approval of Resolution 22-73, the holiday schedule for next year. Questions or comments from the council? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on tonight to the American Rescue Plan, a voucher summary. Mr. Hardaway.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have a registered voucher tonight for $212,342.39. Motion to approve. Second.
Motion by Mr. Hardaway, second by Mr. Span, to approve the accounts payable voucher for the ARP fund. Any questions or comments from the council? Hearing none. Madam Clerk Treasurer, roll call, please.
Mr. Span?
Yes.
Mr. Hardaway?
Yes.
Mr. Minchuk?
Yes.
Mrs. Uzelak?
Yes.
Mr. Pettit?
Yes.
Mr. Bella?
Yes.
6 in favor.
6 in favor, motion carries. Thank you. Moving on tonight to BZA, or large gathering actions. Sheila?
No BZA or large gathering actions this evening.
Thank you. Old business, is there any old business before us tonight? Moving on to new business, any new business tonight? Public comment, we're open for public comment. Please limit your time to 3 minutes and state your name and address for the record. And come up to the podium, please.
Ryan Messart, 201 East 68th Place. I'd like to publicly and personally thank Terrence Price. I was at the community center last Friday to sign up to use it. He noticed me at the front desk. He immediately came over, greeted me warmly, offered to give me a personalized tour. He showed me almost every aspect of that building that one could see. He answered every one of my million questions, and then took time to chat with me and ask me about my views on the community and whatnot. All in all, I was absolutely impressed by his servant leadership and his example to the Boys and Girls Club and whatnot. He was very busy that day. There were many things going on. The repast was going on. So he took one of the most precious resources a person can give, his time, and he gave it to me. And I want to give big kudos and big thanks to Mr. Terrence Price of the Parks Department. Thank you so much.
Brian, can I ask you what you thought about the center as a whole, since you saw it all?
It was interesting and somewhat impressive. I probably should have been over there using some of the stuff beforehand.
Well, you can now, so that's great.
Thank you.
Any other public comment this evening? Seeing none, announcements. We have Plan Commission workshop set for November 2nd at 6:30.
No.
No,
Nope. What is our new
wrong
time?
date.
We won't have a plan commission.
Yeah, we're going to cancel it.
We will not be having a Plan Commission workshop, I'm sorry. The public safety meeting Jeff announced tonight was on November 2nd at 4 o'clock. It's here at Town Hall, Jeff.
Yes, sir.
The next town council meeting will be on Wednesday instead of Tuesday, November 9th at 6:30. This meeting change is due to the election day being November 8th. And as Chief Curtino already said, trick-or-treat hours are going to be October 31st from 5:30 to 7:30. Anything else for us?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are adjourned.
That's the record.
Oh,